This episode is sponsored by Foreman School in Litchfield, Connecticut, a coeducational college preparatory school that empowers bright students who learn differently. To learn more about the nation's first and best co-ed school for high school and postgraduate students with learning differences, go to formanschool.org/about/distraction. Hello and welcome to Distraction. I'm your host, Dr. Ned Hallowell. Thank you for joining me for today's Listener Q&A podcast, one of my favorite formats. Today's question is about ADHD and romantic relationships. This listener wrote, I recently started a wonderful relationship with someone who has ADHD. After about a month, symptoms started flaring up and resulted in confusion and some difficult emotions. I'm looking for advice on being as supportive a partner as I can be while he is dealing with this. And although I know there might not be any way I can help, I want to try. I have concerns that maybe I was just an object of hyperfocus in the beginning, and now that is past. I also have concerns that our relationship threw a wrench in his routines and contributed to this happening. I feel bad thinking that, and he does still want me in his life. So maybe that thinking is just my own insecurities kicking in. I really care about this person and just want to do what I can for the best outcome. Well, first of all, you're a really nice person, and he's lucky to have found you. And since, you like him, you're probably lucky to have found him. ADHD can absolutely throw a monkey wrench into a relationship, but it certainly does not need to end it. I've been married for going on 33 years, and all credit goes to my wife, but it is something that can be dealt with. The important step is education, learning as much about this condition as you can. I would refer you to one of my books. You could start with ADHD 2.0, since that's the shortest one. And you could also read Attitude Magazine, go to their website, lots of advice. And you could get a therapist, but make sure you get a therapist who understands ADHD. You'll be really not getting the most out of couples therapy if your therapist doesn't understand this condition. It really can lead to big problems if you don't understand fully what ADHD is and how to turn it from a tremendous liability into an asset. So I would, you've got a good beginning here and you've got problems coming up, but I would hurry into a process of education and therapy before those problems turn into habits that are ever so difficult to break. Okay, that's going to do it for today's episode. If you have a question you'd like me to answer, please send it to connect@distractionpodcast.com. And thank you to the Foreman School in Litchfield, Connecticut for sponsoring this episode. Foreman is a wonderful school in boarding school in Connecticut that really does well with kids who learn differently. I've known the school for many years and hold it in the highest regard. Distraction is created by Sounds Great Media. This podcast was recorded and produced by the wonderful Sarah Gurton. I'm Dr. Ned Hallowell, and thank you so much for listening. The episode you just heard was sponsored by the Foreman School in Litchfield, Connecticut. Foreman gives students who learn differently the resources to discover what they care about, to find success in a huge range of fields, and to just be themselves beyond their diagnoses. Learn more about the nation's first and best co-ed school for high school and postgraduate students with learning differences at formanschool.org/about/distraction.